Absolutely gorgeous day here in Peoria. Danny, Dave, and more for our spring training coverage. We got a chance to talk to a number of different players today. Really fun to meet Justice Sheffield, and you see some excitement. He's a charismatic guy and someone who is 5'10", and mentioned that he wants to prove to people, he loves it when he hears people doubt that he's not tall enough to be a starting pitcher.
Yeah, so we promised to doubt him and make him better. But it's fun seeing these young guys, and we compared it before we came down here to Seahawk camp last year because, everybody's happy and just having a good time. You see the youth and all the expectations and everything, and that's fun. It's really cool. The interviews we did today, we had Sheffield, Shed Long, talked to Malik Smith, and, they were all just like they're here having a good time. They talk about the clubhouse and what it's like in there. Everybody's excited about it. So, that's why I think maybe not 90 wins this year. Maybe that was an overreach. But I do think it's going to be a surprise to a lot of people because when you tell a bunch of pros that this is a teardown year, or that's what everybody's saying, it's going to challenge them. And like Justice Sheffield, pro players like to be doubted. And I guess I was guilty of that too, and I think every guy wants to prove somebody wrong, and, it's not like I'm purposely putting a chip on my shoulder, but probably, especially when you're a shorter player like Shed Long and Justice Sheffield, they've been doubted their whole lives.
Yeah, Sheffield, he's been looking great down here, and he's certainly earned a spot on the roster, but we'll see if that means it'll probably be Felix instead of Sheffield, and we'll see Sheffield down in Tacoma, and then sometime in May, probably Sheffield will be coming back up. But I was also excited to talk to Malik Smith, and I love seeing that kid smile. Just seems to have a joy for the game, and it was fun talking to him about what it's like to play center field. He knows he's not going to be the next Griffey, and I just threw him a question, and I was just seeing what his response would be. But I think it's going to be fun to see him out there and bring some life and energy to this team.
I liked his explanation of center field, how on the corners he called it, that you have, there's a possibility that it goes out of bounds. There's a line there, whereas in center field, anything that comes your way, you can get to. Basically, you don't really have any help from that standpoint. It sounded like he loved the challenge of that.
And you do have this new group of players that we're seeing for the first time in meeting and beginning to be tantalized by the question of what they can be. The other part of this is we're trying to figure out what the Mariners still have. And Felix Hernandez pitched in the B game today, which was over on field 2 and no crowd. Just I would say a couple dozen fans that are there watching. And Felix started out great, struck out 4 in the first 2 innings, and then gave up 2 runs both in the third and the fourth against a Korean team, KT Wiz. And look, this is going to be a season where there's a lot of microscope, and we put a microscope on Felix Hernandez and his early results, hoping for some more positive developments. And you don't want to overreact to spring training, but you've kind of got these dual things of we're excited about the future and what we see from some of these younger players, and still kind of concerned and hoping that we get some productivity from the veterans as well. We're looking forward to tomorrow. They're going to have an evening game. We're going to get set with interviews and perhaps the opportunity for some live interviews before that game starts. It's Danny, Dave, and more here in spring training in Peoria.